All right. Good afternoon. Welcome to my daily review. I just have a chart here of the Dow Jones Industrial Average because it has been the leading index recently. It was up, 400 points today. Just wanted to point out the golden cross here where the 50, the faster moving average, crossed above the slower moving average, actually has panned out here in 2023 as the index has been up higher. And you can see recently it was up, I don't know, like 13 days in a row, pulled back to the 21, and today was up 400 points. It's driven by Johnson & Johnson, Boeing, AMGN, United Healthcare, very defensive names. It's only an index of 30 stocks, but I just thought I'd point that out. Anyway, I'm going to go to the Nasdaq because the Nasdaq snapped a 4-day losing streak. You can see here from this May breakout, it had a nice run, pulled back a little bit, ran up to the middle of July and has pulled back ever since. But make no mistake about it, this is an uptrend. This is a clear uptrend. And then with the higher highs, higher lows. So it's a pullback within an uptrend, folks. And it's pulled back before. You can see in February it pulled back. In June, it pulled back. Now in August, it's pulling back. It's just a pullback within an uptrend right now. We don't know how low it's going to go or how long it's going to last. So you have to respect the risk and play a little defensive. But I'm just going to get into some of the things that are, kind of causing problems here. And we have a rotten apple. They reported earnings. This thing sliced its 50 with volume and followed through today. You figure with Buffett owning this stock and all the big stock buybacks, and it's in every index, that it wouldn't fall so hard, but it is really selling off here. And it kind of surprises me a little bit. I would have expected to find some support here pretty soon. But it was a 3 trillion market cap, and people are taking profits. It's had a nice run. This is Tesla was down today. Their CFO resigned, sliced its 50 today, and that joins the club with Microsoft, which is another mega cap tech stock that is sold off since its earnings report and sliced its 50 and trading below it as well. I know it was up a couple bucks today, but it's still below the 50. So we want to see this thing rally through. So what is driving the NASDAQ? Amazon, these data center plays here, Amazon, Google, Meta, NVDA. Amazon had a nice move on earnings Friday and followed through today with a nice 2% gain. Google, this is one that's on our watch list here, kind of like the setup. Pulled back to its 10 and now bouncing higher. It was up nearly 3% today. That's a good move for the Google. And then Meta just pulled back to its 10 here. Pulled back to its 21 originally and traded higher. Now it's pulled back to its 21. I think that was his earnings report right here on this date. Had a nice gap and then closed at the lower end of the range that day. But Meta still looks really good to me. Anyway, let's move on. I'm going to get to some of our themes here, and I'm going to start with the retail stocks. I'm going to start with ELF. ELF had a nice report, gapped higher, closed near the lower end of the range on that day, and sold off the past couple of days. But today had an inside day, and I like this thing to trade back above the high of today. It's just pulling in this nice little wedge pattern here. I don't know. You might want to wedge a little longer, but I kind of like this pattern for ELF to trade higher. So that one will be on our watch list as well. Lululemon, definitely one on the watch list, trading kind of tight here, especially for this stock. It's usually, you can see the wild swings in it. Now it's really tightening up. They don't have earnings till the end of the month. Celsius, another one of our leading stocks, and it's trading sideways. This kind of action really bugs me because you got to hold it into earnings, which contains a lot of risk, and it gaps up on earnings and goes sideways for 3 months. And now it's going to report earnings on Thursday. And if it stays in character, it's probably going to have a strong report and gap higher. But there's a lot of risk involved with these earnings report. Speaking of which, COCO, good earnings report. This thing just sold off wildly. It went up above 30, then came down below. This is all in one day. Look at this bar here. Up to $30.88, down to $24.80. Closed at the low end of the range. Sold off again Thursday, Friday, tried to recover, and today it's up 12 something percent. Just crazy moves. Earnings season this year, this quarter has been really wild. It's really dangerous, treacherous, in fact. Okay, here's CAVA, one of our IPO stocks, and this one you can see it formed this quick little IPO pattern within a month and has broken out. Now it's pulling back, but looks like it was like mispriced. Came in low. The IPO was at 22 and ran right up above 55. So congrats to the longs there. That one looks good. Now the home builders again today, flexing their muscles. This is Builder. They had a nice earnings report. You can see the spike there. Then it pulled back and to its 10, and now it's just kind of grinding higher again. That's what it does. Totally in character with that stock. DR Horton, another home builder, good earnings report. Pulled back to the 21, found support there, and today was up 1.4%. And Pulte Homes, another one that made a new high recently. They make a new high today, 85.76. It did not. It's close to making a new high, but just came down to the 21. You can see how many times it come down to the 21 recently and found support and then traded higher. This is like, hello. I mean, every time. It's got machine trading. As soon as it gets to the 21, buy Pulte Homes. All right, let's take a look at the cruise lines. These stocks found some love today. Once again, since the breakout, getting support here at its 21. Cruise lines, they've had strong reports and finding support. Not bad. Again, this one finding support at the 21. This is Carnival Cruise Lines. And now today it didn't gap higher. It just traded higher 5%. And bounced. Now it's 2% above its 21. So you got to keep those moving averages in mind. NCLH, this is Norwegian Cruise Lines. This one sliced its 50. Got some love today, was up like 3%. I'm looking for this one to rally back through the 50. We've seen a lot of this action lately, and that's what I'm looking for Microsoft to do, and Apple, and some of these stocks that have sliced their 50 to rally back through here. Norwegian's one of them. The machinery stocks look good. Train Technologies, this one, you got this real pronounced double bottom base. Traded kind of sideways here, pulled back to the 21, and now is ripped higher. Today made a new high. So that one looks good. SYM, it's in the same group, the machinery group, a real strong group here. This one pulled back to its 10 EMA today. We'll see if it finds support tomorrow. And Badger Meter is another one you don't hear of much, but this one broke out of a base, traded sideways, formed a little shelf, and now it's trying to break out of that shelf there at 167. So I'm going to keep my eye on Badger Meter. The drug stocks, I mentioned that AMGN and J&J were responsible for a big move in the Dow today. This is AMGN. They're trying to buy Horizon, and the FTC got in the way, and it's really caused problems here with the it's really stupid. Not the FDA, but the FTC. The Trade Commission commissioners just getting in the way of these deals. J&J is another one that does helping prop up the Dow Jones Industrial Average. NVO had a nice move today. They have earnings at the end of the week here, and this one was up 3%. You can see it's just consolidating in a base. That one looks pretty good to me. And VRTX, this one drives me crazy. Below the 50, at the 50, above the 50. This one it does whatever it wants. Crazy stock. I want to go to the semiconductor stocks because ACLS Technologies, strong report last week, and it just sold off. It just looks like mechanical trading down to the 50. Now it had an inside day today. I don't know. They had an increase, accelerated earnings and strong sales growth, beat estimates, but sold off anyway on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. and an inside day today. So I'm going to watch that one closely. AMD, they had a strong report. Lisa Su talked about the data centers and personal computers being a source of strength in the back half of 2023 and into 2024. So I got to watch those data center stocks. AMD, yeah, up nearly 1% today. It's just consolidating here in a base. Now it's, above its 50. Just plodding along. NVIDIA, of course, one of the hubs of AI, just pulled back to its 21. It's formed this ascending base pattern. I would expect at some point for this thing to trade above that 480, 88, but we'll see. It's going to do what it wants to do and not what I want it to do. Doesn't care. My opinion doesn't matter. Super Micro, this one made a new high today. This is just a heatless stock. If you want to buy some heat, this is one for you. Might be too hot to handle. It's got earnings tomorrow. After the market closes, and we've seen some really radical moves with earnings, so I'd be very careful with this one around its earnings. This thing could gap up to 400 tomorrow, could pull back to 250. You don't know, and it's just high risk. These earnings reports this quarter. VRT, this is another one in the data center. Had a nice strong report, good reaction to it, and has followed through. And that's what you want to see in a gap higher. You want to see these follow through days, even though it was flat today. It's not selling off. People aren't just dumping it. It's going to close the gap here. People are buying the stock. KNF, this is one of my IPO stocks, and this is just forming as a concrete or a cement company. I guess cement is a product in concrete. And this one's just forming a base here. It looks pretty good though. And then the construction stocks, the materials, the machines, those stocks are doing well. Earnings tonight after the bell, Palantir, kind of it was an okay report. It's getting a nice response to it, but I mean, this thing's trading. They have $1 billion buyback program. One thing that bugs me though is it's got about 2 billion in sales and a 38 billion market cap, and tomorrow it's going to go higher. So you're looking at 20 times sales. But hey, if the thing's going to go higher, go along for the ride. It's well off its high though, like $45, but it broke out of this stage 1 base and is moving higher. So nice response to their earnings report tonight, which met earnings estimate and met revenue estimate. So they did what they were asked, and the buyback program, I'm sure, is something that's driving the stock higher. Let me see. This is Skywork Solutions. Maybe down 1%. They beat earnings and came in line with revenues. But the one that's really moving tonight after hours is CHGG, and that was up. Dan Rosenzweig's company is up 25% because he's got his own. He mentioned AI, and he's going to formulate their own AI database or whatever. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, except for I want to honor the great Steve Jobs and say one more thing. I just wanted to point out Fastly. I put a video out over the weekend about stocks that gapped higher after earnings. Fastly is definitely one that's changed character. Stocks have characters. This one had a character of being the bully, getting beat up by the bully, right? The bully just pushed this thing down from October of 2020 at $136. Every time it tried to come up, it just got pushed down by the bully, just pushed in the sand, getting its face in the sand. And I guess it got tired of getting pushed down by the bully. And right here, it just flattened out, right? Started eating its spinach and working out, going to the gym, getting stronger. And it popped higher here on this week here, which is something to take note of. In February, which I can go to the daily now, and there's your spike higher. Then it just kind of consolidated for a while until last week. It gapped up higher 23% with 257% above average daily volume. So it's definitely changed character. It's not the bully anymore. It's not going to take that stuff and getting sand kicked in its face. This thing's starting to show strength, and definitely something to take note of. I know today these computers, cybersecurity and the software stocks were out of favor, but definitely one to watch. As you can see that it's had all the sellers are out, some buyers coming in now with these blue volume bars, and so this one has changed character. It's showing some strength, and we never give up.